Sweet. So I've started recording. No chart. No chart needed for any of this. I don't even know why I put glasses on. I don't even need them. So one of the biggest things everyone says to me is I just don't get it. I just don't understand. I just don't have time. I just don't, I can't watch. I can't do this. I can't, I can't spend as much time as you spend, Keith. I can't, I have a family. I don't have the availability that you do to do all this. I can't catch these live streams because you do them at the wrong time. First things first, I don't want to hear what you can't do. This whole segment here for the next hour will be about psychology. The first problem that you have is excuses. This sounds mean, and I don't mean it to be mean at all. Nothing that you're going to hear from this point forward will be mean. It's purely psychology of what it takes to do this, okay? Our excuses don't matter to the investments. Whatever that investment is, I don't care whether it's stocks, bonds, equities, Forex, crypto, it doesn't matter to me. None of that stuff cares about how you feel. None of that stuff cares about what you can or what you cannot do. I don't want to hear what you don't have time for. If I can do this, anyone can do this, so there's no excuses. When you say I don't have time to look at a chart and then I see you on Twitter retweeting stuff, then I don't want to hear the excuse that you don't have time to look at a chart. You could have been looking at a chart, but you chose to go look at social media. You come and tell me, Keith, I don't have time to look at that trade and I don't have time to do that because I was doing something else. And then I see you share an article about BlackRock doing this and this, and you clearly have taken the time to look at that. I don't want to hear the excuse that you don't have time to look at a chart when that's what you're spending your time doing. And you're going to ask me, well, Keith, doesn't all that matter? I watch that stuff because it seems to matter. If you watch the news, hey, there we go. We're off and running. Well, again, if you're basing everything you're doing around the news, you're not going to maintain this money once you've made it. Because, hey, you might actually get lucky and you might actually make some money. How are you going to maintain that money when that news doesn't move the charts like you want it to anymore? Okay, 2022 was a perfect example of I don't want to hear about bullish crypto stuff because it all went down 80+% and everything across the board. And if that's the case and everything's going to go down 80+% for an entire year, why are we worried about news that you can't control? You can't do anything about it. If you were to watch it, hawk it, you still wouldn't get in time because it would move before that news dropped or 1 second after the news dropped, and you still have to get online, sign in, two-factor authentication, hit your fingerprint. Then once you get that, I forgot to do my VPN. I got to erase all that out, turn the VPN on, do it all over again. Chart's done moved. Too late. You've already missed the quote-unquote pump. These things are a waste of time, and you'll never see me care about them. I may share news articles for fun, and I may goof off and say, hey, look, here's Van Eck, and that's fine because they're actually reporting stuff, and I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not basing any of my investments off of that. Not a single one ever will I sit and waste the time to base it off the news. All this is part of the mindset that goes into this. All right, so what I say up front, no excuses. I don't want to hear what you can't do. Stop telling me what you can't do from a person who was living in a junk room with $17 in his bank account to sitting right here in front of all you. I don't want to hear what you cannot do. And don't tell me because I come from wealth or what I do not. That's completely inaccurate. This was a fight and a struggle, and that's the way it will be for you too until you get to the other side of it. There's simply no other way to say it. You have to earn this. It will not be given to you. That's going to be my next point. What I say all the time, don't copy me. And why do I say not to copy me? I don't do copy trading, everyone. So if you're in the DMs with me right now asking about copy trading, that ain't me. You're getting scammed. All right? I don't do copy trading. So I say don't copy me for a reason. My money is different than your money. All right? I may have more or less than you. I may want to risk more or less than you. Your family situation is different than mine. Your life situation, your job situation, your bank account situation are all different than mine. So why would you copy me? You're going to say, "Oh, well, I copy you because you're charting it and you do this for a living, and I think I know that you're trustworthy and you should do." No, stop. Stop. You're trusting a dude on the internet with your money. What are you doing? Don't trust me with your, why would you do that? No. Do it yourself. And it's going to seem easy to say, "Oh, Keith, well, you say what you're doing. You show everyone." That's just to be open and honest with you and not to have you copy it. As a matter of fact, I even said a couple months ago that I would start posting stuff after I did it. That way it's too late to copy me. All right. Now, I haven't done that. I've still been doing it pretty relatively time within a minute or two of me doing it. I don't know if I want to keep doing that because people are going to get to the point where they just want to copy me all the time. I'm not cool with that. But more so, I want you to understand that copying me now feels good and it feels like you can win because you're just buying stuff and it goes up and you feel good about that. What's going to happen when you don't copy me on something and it doesn't go the way you want it to, or you copy me on something and it goes the way I didn't want it to go, and you're in it also, and now you want to play the blame game. This money is easy to make in a bull market. For the next year and a half, you're going to be able to buy almost anything and make money. All right. It's up to you on how much you want to buy, when you want to take profits, when you don't want to take profits, all that good stuff. Maintaining this money is the hardest part after you've made it. Mr. Vanderbilt, the guy who built the Biltmore Empire, all right, off of railroads, one of the famous sayings he has is, "Any fool can make a fortune. It takes brains to maintain that fortune." And historically speaking, that was true to tell of his own family. You know, his children blew every dollar that he made. And while he made generational wealth for his family, in fact, 3 times generational wealth for his family, all of it went away because his family was given that effort. They were given those rewards instead of earning those rewards. They didn't have to put forth the effort that their dad did, or their matriarch of the family. They didn't have to put forth that effort. This is why it's important for you to put forth the effort now, so that when the time comes, you value what you made. Every single penny will be valued. Hey, I earned this. No, I didn't just copy Keith and then this happened. No, I earned this. And now that I've earned it, I'm not letting it go. Because that's what happens in the real world when you do well with something. You do well with something in life, like a degree. You know, you get a degree of whatever college you went to and you got a degree. You earned that and you're proud of that degree. And you want that degree to be used for something else. And you will happily say, "Oh, I have a degree." Same thing goes with your investments. You earn those dollars. You save those dollars. You don't go blowing them as soon as you get them. You'll learn that as we go, that you cannot just depend on someone else to do it for you, because you will eventually lose it. And we have many, many, many examples of that in our Discord whom did well in the bull market. Got right down to it. They decided they want to start copying someone at the end. Hey, now you see Keith bailing and getting out, and you can't bail and get out, and you wonder what you're supposed to do now. And well, the answer is you should have never copied me to begin with. You should have done it on your own. If you want to follow along with everyone else in the Discord and see what everyone else is saying, that's a great idea because we share information. However, matching dollar for dollar what someone else does is a bad idea. It feels good right now, but you will not maintain that in the end. So don't do it. These are all the little things that go into the psychology. All right. So I've talked about a few things here. I've talked about, I don't want to hear any excuses, because you can do this. I've talked about putting forth the effort that it takes to work and earn it. And once you've earned it, you don't want to lose it so easy. So you risk a little bit less. This goes into the next part about being a degenerate. It's not really going to matter so much this year. All right. Once we get over this year and we start next year, the degeneracy is going to begin. And I know it seems like there's been a lot of degeneracy already, but there hasn't been. All right. It's only just begun. When we hit next year, that's when you'll see scam season start. I'm going to sneeze too. Ooh, hang on. Ooh, I thought I was going to sneeze. I'm holding it back. Ooh. Anyway, so next year you're going to start scam season. Things are going to get really out of control as far as emotions go. And as I'm going to get into the 4 rules here in a second, there are no emotions allowed in this stuff. All right. You've got to be able to remember, hey, remember when Keith was talking about earning it? And now that I've earned it, I don't want to lose it. You cannot make a bunch of money and then throw it all into one thing and think that's going to make everything better and going to change your life and fix everything. This was one of the lessons that no one learned from last time, and I'm already seeing the degeneracy start this time. When it came to Ohm or Time Wonderland or any of these other places that offer this insane APY, if you just stake your money into this, if you just give us your money, we'll give you way more back. Even though we don't really have a system to do that, that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you way more money back. You're literally falling into a Ponzi scheme. And if you're going to be an idiot and a degenerate, this is the point where you've earned your money. You know better than to put it all in one place. I'll just put a couple % into this. Why? Because if I lose that couple %, it ain't going to hurt as bad as losing it all. And if I lose it all, I'll never forget how stupid I was for losing it all. And I'm blowing the opportunity that I may not get again. All this matters. When you earn it, you're a lot less likely to be a degenerate. And I know it feels good to go on Twitter and see all the degeneracy that's going on. Well, I put $10 into this and I made $3,000, or I put $500 and that turned into $500,000. Yeah, you're the one guy who did that. So stop telling me how you're going to do that after he's already done it and got his money. Then magically you're going to be able to do that now too. Understand that his $500 was one drop in the bucket of everybody else who put $500 in and he took from. Right? There's a system of how this works. One of us is on each side of the screen. Either you're winning or I'm winning, okay? Remember that before you walk into this. Some of you guys are going to go, hey, Keith, I don't want to trade because I got to go up against you. It's a good idea. If you're going up against the pro, you're probably going to get beat more often than not. Now, you may beat that pro every once in a while. If you watch a pro play an amateur at any sport, sometimes the amateur makes a play and they do really well. And you go, oh, well, he can hit too, or he can throw, or he can catch too. Then the pro comes up there and you go, oh, I see. So like he did it once, but the pro can do this like 50 times in a row, right? So eventually you're going to realize, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea to go one-on-one in the ring with a pro. Maybe I should be a little smarter than that. Before that lesson happens, hear it now. You're going up against someone you don't know on the other side of the screen who may be way better than you. So you better have this stuff locked in before you get silly and decide to make a mistake. Not a single thing yet have I talked about buying or selling. Have you guys noticed that? By the way, we have a comments over on the right. If you guys want to ask questions, feel free to ask questions and stuff, because you're going to hear all this and not necessarily listen. I already know people aren't really going to listen to what I'm saying, but doesn't mean I'm not going to say it. So it was on the record of me saying it. Joke asked, does health issues count? Absolutely not. They do not count. And the reason I say that is one of our admins, Tari, in the Discord, I saved the messages on Telegram. Message man says, hey, Keith, I want to let you know, I saw your shit on YouTube. I'm going into brain surgery in the next hour. I wanted to let you know that if I make it out of this brain surgery, that I'm going to learn what you're talking about and I'm going to figure this out. I was like, horseshit. Sure, whatever. No bullshit. Sends me a message 3 days later of him sitting in the hospital room with a bandage on his head where they drilled a hole in his fucking head and did brain surgery. Sends me another picture of him sitting there on the laptop with my shit pulled up learning. All right. Tari went on to make millions of dollars in the bull run. Not only did he make millions of dollars, but he managed to take that millions of dollars and turn it into real world assets, not fake real world asset coins, real stuff in the real world. He bought a motorcycle shop. He bought a bar. He bought a restaurant. He bought other stuff. He bought a Bentley and can't even drive. Now, why did he do that? Because he got a good deal on it. He bought a Porsche that wasn't even finished being built yet. Now, why did he do that? Because he got a good deal on it. So he was able to take the Porsche and then sell it, right? What I'm trying to say here is no excuses. I don't want to hear the excuses of what you cannot do. You're just not trying hard enough. And that sounds mean. Again, I know it sounds mean, but it doesn't matter what it sounds like. It's the truth. It sucks to hear, but it's the truth. You can learn this. If an idiot like me can learn this, then you can learn this. There's literally no excuse. So I commented on the original post for this. This is way more important than the buy sell button. Absolutely, because this is what goes into the buy sell button. This is what gives you the confidence to walk in there at the buy sell button and hit it, right? So up until now, we've not talked about any buying and any selling. We've only talked about the steps it takes to get to the right mindset to do this. How much time do I say this takes? 5 to 10 minutes a day. And why is that? Well, it doesn't take that much time. Once you've locked in, I'll say initially you need to spend some time getting a feel for how TradingView works. You need to spend some time learning the buttons, right? Take some time to ask questions on how this works, little stuff like that. Once you get that locked in and you understand how to use TradingView, now it's very simple. We're looking for some simple basic stuff that we talk about on the charts all the time, yeah? We're looking for a basic trend break. Hey, the trend's broken. We're good to go. We're looking for basic support, basic resistance. It's not very complicated to do that stuff at all. And if you really want to wait for an indicator to buy and sell for you, we have the 821 EMA that's very simple to use, plus the 50-day moving average. And it's very simple to use as well, and you're on your way. Want to make it more complicated and take it to the next level because you feel like maybe that's a little bit too loose for you? Well, hey, we can get down fancier than that. We can take it in and put fibs on it, right? We can get out, pull out the pivots and pivot points. We can look at Bollinger Bands and see whether we got volatility coming or not. All this other stuff. We build a confluence system. This entire Discord was built on a confluence system. What is a confluence system, everyone? Well, that's when you get more confirmation of what you may or may not have thought from beginning. All right. So if I look at a chart, I see it's got an 821 cross, I'm buying. And then someone else says, hold up. You're under the 200 moving average. You're under the cloud. You're under the pivot. The Bollinger Bands are very wide. This thing's at resistance. You got an 821 cross, but everything else looks bad. So because I don't have a ton of confluence here of up, I'm going to be careful. And now that money that I earned that I don't want to blow, I'm only going to use a little bit to buy this instead of all of it because it doesn't feel as confident as if it did if it was at the bottom. Since this stuff is way up and we're hitting resistance and all this other stuff, maybe it's not such a good idea to throw a ton of money in this. Now your psychology fixes. You guys ask a lot in the DMs because I read the DMs. How much should I buy? How much profit should I take? How blah, blah, blah. This is all part of the psychology. It's your money. How much do you feel comfortable with? Forget what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. It's not my money. It's your money. How much do you feel comfortable selling? How much do you feel comfortable losing? If it's not much, I feel comfortable that I'm not going to lose much money. I feel comfortable that if I took this profits, I can buy something else before I do that. Well, yeah, I'll go ahead and take half. Why not? Because I have the money. I know where I want to put it. I'm probably not going to lose it. I'm good to go. If your plan is, well, I don't know how much to take, so I'm going to sell all of it, and I'm going to buy this other coin that I saw on Twitter because someone said that this kitty cat doji coin looks pretty cool, and I should go buy that. That's a terrible plan. You're gambling, not charting, not being logical, not being smart, and you're going to lose it. Psychology is super important. Now, people always ask me, what would you do when you were in my shoes? What do you mean by people always ask me, what would you do in my shoes? Oh, that's what they're asking me. What would you do if it were you? Yeah. So I'm pretty easy and blunt about it. I always say the same thing. I always say, well, the chart says it's a sell or the chart says it's buy. Looks a little scary. Well, get half out. Looks a little terrible. Well, make a choice. Does it look bad enough for you to sell? Maybe. Me and Jeremy Monroe were talking about this last night on Velo. And we both had the same conversation about the same thing without saying it, which was, I thought about taking profits, but I didn't. We both said the same thing. I thought about taking profits, but I didn't. Why would we say that? Well, the chart was sky high. So I went ahead and made the decision last night after talking with him and the other moderators and admins. I was like, you know what? If I have those thoughts again, when I see a chart shooting up real high, like we saw with Velo, if I have those thoughts again, I'm making a plan right now for everyone. That's my plan. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 10% every single time that I see a chart that looks like I should take profits. Why is that? Because I didn't do it already, and I've already learned a small lesson. That 10% of velo that I could have sold would have been worth almost as much as the 40% that I sold. Now, what's the negative to that? Well, if I sell that and it keeps going up, I lost that money out of velo and it's in somewhere else. But again, that's me saying, well, I still got 90% in. I only took 10% out. I'll be all right. My psychology as such is that I'm willing to take 10% off and find somewhere else to put it rather than leave it all in there and take a risk on all of it coming down. I've got to start sticking to this. And I just made that plan for myself last night, right? That was after talking with someone else with the exact same problem. And I went ahead and located the fact that I'm probably going to have a problem taking profits when the time comes. So before that ever becomes a problem, I'm going to start locking it in now that I don't do that I be smarter, that I get it thinking ahead, that I don't get stuck in the past, that I'm thinking ahead here about how I can get profits out next time a little bit better, a little bit more efficiently. What's up, Telmo? So now comes the 4 rules. The 4 rules that I use for trading. And it's not just for trading, it's for investing. And for what it's worth, you can use these 4 rules in life. Just made it for charts because it's easier for me. All right. I'm going to say this 10,000 more times from here till the end of 2025. No emotions, everybody. Rule number 1 is no emotions. None allowed. No emotions. Not euphoria. I don't want to hear about, oh my God, I'm absolutely killing it and I'm making so much money. Have you sold everything? Because if you haven't sold everything, you haven't made so much money. And if you get to that point where you say, oh my God, I've made so much money and you're about to take another humongous risk, ask yourself, is that the right thing to do? I've made a ton of money and I'm about to double down on this. Is that such a good idea? Go back in history and look through things and see when doubling down after you've done great was a good idea. All right. It's very rare that that continues to be the case. So no emotions. I don't care what someone else tells me. Oh no, Keith, you haven't looked at this one because this one has this and this and this. Show me the chart. Well, if you look at the chart and then I see that the clouds a 4 out of 4 no, I got no 50 moving average. I got no 821 cross. What are we talking about? No, this is not no. It's not a buy, so I'm not going to do it. There's nothing emotional that you can trick me with here that's going to sucker me into buying that. Simple as that. Well, it's at support. It's this historic support. It's good, strong support. It just had a breakout. It looks like it's on an uptrend. Now you're giving me some more information that makes me think, hey, that might be a better play than I thought. But I still said all that stuff to begin with that was negative. Now I've got all this negative. I've got some positive. Hey, if I'm going to buy this, it's only going to be a little piece. Why? Because I'm not sure yet. Right? Because I have doubts on it. I'm not going to throw a bunch of money at it. I'm going to do a little bit of money into it to be safer. Again, what I earned is not going to be blown on stupidity. So no emotions. Keep your head above your shoulders and not up someone's ass, not up Twitter's ass. You can't do any of that. Keep your head pointed forward and lock in, because this is the most important time of your investment life. From now to the end of 2025 is the most important time in your investment life. For the next 15 years, you might not get this opportunity. From the time from now to the end of 2025. Does everyone hear that very clearly? Don't blow this opportunity. Don't waste the time that you have on things that don't make you money. It's ridiculously important that we understand this. You're going to waste your time at some point here and you're going to wish you didn't. Time's the one thing you can't get back, and you are not guaranteed another bull run. Don't mind my dog. All right. I might have to shut that door. Yeah, hang on. Let me shut the door real fast. She's going to do this. Hang on. I should have shut the blinds, and she wouldn't have been able to do that if I shut the blinds, dude. The dog agrees. I'm just saying, you don't know what's coming, slothy boat. how can you be so sure that we're going to get all these other bull runs? You don't. You can't. You can't. I'm pretty sure we're going to get the next bull run because we just had halving and the charts look very similar, but I can't guarantee that. So rather than expecting to have all this money made over the next 15 years, how about making what you can in the next year and a half first and locking in, getting that year and a half done, and then reassessing? Because for what it's worth, tomorrow's not promised. And you better take every opportunity that you can today to make the max amount of money that you can, because it might not come back tomorrow. I know the answer, but I want to hear you break it down. If you got 2,000, what's the better play? 2K and one token. It's exactly what I'm talking about, but hang on a minute. Rule number 1, no emotions. Rule number 2, have a plan before you buy. And why do I say that? Here's what I mean by have a plan before you buy. I don't mean I'm going to buy this and hold this because I like the team. Shut up. The team doesn't like you. Why do you like the team so much? They don't like you back. Why are you giving them emotions when they're not going to give you any back? All of you guys who do that are in toxic relationships at home too. I'm put in way more than I get out. I put in way more effort with her than she gives me. And for you ladies who are going to listen to this, I put in way too much effort for him to give me none back. That's a toxic relationship. Congratulations. You've been doing that in investing all up until now. Up until now, you've had toxic relationships and you're expecting them to work. I'm expecting this to work. Why? Well, because I'm trying. No, the fuck, no. The team doesn't love you back. They don't care what you have to say. They just want your money. And you're happily to give it to them. Here, have some. I like what you guys are building. Here, have some more money. What the hell is wrong with you? They appreciate you paying for their sports car. Their family gets to go on vacation now because you gave them money. Did you ever think about it that way? Because that's what's happening. Have a plan before you buy. Always base that plan on the chart. Okay, there are things that we know here. We know we have a bull market coming. Since we know we have a bull market coming, you should be planning to buy. After you plan to buy, you should already be planning ahead to sell. Where are my points when we get here where I'm going to sell this? Why? Because I've got to get paid for this. If I don't get paid for this, it was all for nothing. So my plan, I'm going to buy when the chart says so. I'm going to set a stop loss at a place that I determine is a good place to have that stop loss, wherever that stop loss is. All right. And I'm going to ride this up till it hits my take profit. And when it hits my take profit, I've already told myself, hey, Keith, you said take profit. Don't back down now. You had a plan. Remember that? Okay. You better stick to it. And maybe the plan changed a little bit and you were going to take 25%. Right. But it gets there way faster than you thought. So now only thing I'm going to change here is I'm going to take 40% instead of 25% because it got there way faster. Right. Maybe it went faster than I thought it would. And that excites me and makes me happy. So, hey, I got extra money here and this is great. So let's go ahead and get some more off the table than I thought. I'm still taking profits. Have a plan before you ever buy it. And if you want to make plans now, like I'm going to use the 821 EMA and the 50 moving average. And that's going to be my plan for the entire bull market on whatever I buy. Whatever it is that I buy. If I get an 821 EMA cross and a 50-day moving average, I'm above it. Whatever it is, that's all I need to see and I'm buying it. Same thing to sell it. If it goes opposite of that, I'll sell it. All right? That's it. That's your plan. That's actually a good plan. Now you have your plan. What's rule number 3? That was rule number 2, having a plan before you buy. What's rule number 3? Rule number 3 is have a backup plan. Why do you need a backup plan? Because, hey, everybody, guess what? This is the real world and shit don't always go the way we want it to. In fact, more often than not, things don't go the way you want them to. Because I'm sure all of you came here one day and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the internet and I'm going to find this dude on YouTube who has a Discord that does trading and I'm going to join that. And that's my plan. That's what you said 6 years ago. Bullshit. You didn't say any of that. You didn't even know who I was. But here you are, right? Whatever happened led you here. And now that you're here, it's time to make a backup plan for the first time. What's my backup plan? You guys have asked me this multiple times. What's my backup plan? If I see any major trend lines fail, I'm out of that asset. Bottom line, no ifs, ands, or buts. Depending on the timing of when this stuff happens, because I think I have the timing ironed out pretty well for what I want to do. Depending on the timing, I may or may not get all the way out a little sooner or a little later. but I'm going to get all the way out. And my plan is once I'm all the way out, I'm going to stick that shit in stable coins on a ledger and it's going in the safe. And I don't care what anyone has to say about that. It's as simple as that. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. I don't care what your feelings are. I don't care what your money says. It's my money now and it's going in the safe and I'm not touching it. Maybe even a safety deposit box or some shit. I don't know. That's going to be a lot of money. I'm trying to plan ahead for that, right? What if it doesn't go the way I want it to and things start selling off faster and the bull run's over before I think? Again, if I see any major trend lines fail, I'm out. Whether it's now or a year and a half from now, if I see that stuff fail and turn the other way, I'm out. I'm done. I told you guys I'm going to be, now that's after having, very strict with 821 EMA and 50 moving average on the way up here. As this stuff goes up, obviously I'm going to do a little farther than that, but I'll be strict with that stuff. If I see 50 moving averages fail and 821 moving averages fail, I'm going to start scaling out. And that's all there is to it. I don't need to hear everyone else's opinion on my money. All right. That doesn't mean I won't hear you out if you have a better plan. I'll listen to what you have to say and I'll say, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Nope, looks like my plan's still okay. I'm going to stick to it. There's my backup plan. The most important thing that I don't do enough of, which I've already talked about, take your profits. If you don't take your profits, I will take your profits for you, because I assure you that there's someone else out there who's a bigger dick than me and will take your money faster than I will. So when given the opportunity to take profits and you have that feeling like I had earlier last week where I said I should probably take some profits, that's probably the right thing to do. Now you only need to determine how much profit you want to take. It could just be 2% or 5% or 100%. And before you say, well, I don't have the time to do that. Bullshit. You're on your phone already looking at it. You have the time. Pull out your calculator, do a little bit of math, figure out how many percent two is, or how many coins 2% is. Okay, that's 12 coins. And I go to the exchange and I type in, I want to sell 12, and I sold it. And I got stable coins now. And I already knew before that I was looking at this other asset that Rob shared on the Discord, and it looked pretty good. So I was already going to buy that anyway. So I take that 2% and I go ahead and buy what I was going to buy before. Wipe my hands. I'm done. I've made my money. I've turned that money into something else. I'm done. Now I'm logging out and I'm done for the day. That's what I planned to do. I had no emotions about it. I followed my plan. I had a backup plan just in case shit didn't work out like I wanted to. And I took my profits. If you do this over and over and over and over again, you won't lose near as much as you win. You will lose sometimes. You're not going to go undefeated. Okay. You're going to get beat sometimes. You get punched in the face sometimes. It's going to suck. However, you won't lose consistently. You will win consistently. You'll lose sporadically, which is the opposite of what most people do in crypto. Most people win during a bull market and then they lose it all at the top. All right. That's what's going to happen again in 2025. At the end of 2025, you're going to see it again, folks. All you guys, girls, you're going to go on here. You're going to watch Twitter explode with happiness and euphoria. People can't wait to buy more. And oh no, look at JP Morgan's buying more. And hey, Joe Blow's over here buying more. And oh, I don't give a shit. The bull market's over. She's done. She's had her run. It's time to walk away. All right. Once that happens, you're going to see people come out of the woodwork to argue with you. In fact, I spent a good couple 15, 20 minutes going through old DMs, finding people talking shit to me, telling me that the top was not in way back when we were at the end of the bull market last time. Right? Doesn't matter what we think. It's what the facts are. And all those people don't have much to say now. Right? Some of them are even scammers that have gone and disappeared now, which is really crazy, going through Telegram, looking at deleted account, deleted account, deleted account. Oh, you guys tucked tail and ran? Really? That's another one of them things, right? So Charts Don't Lie has a question. I know the answer, but I want to hear you break it down. If you've got $2,000, what's the better play? 2K in 1 in 2,500, 4 in 250, 8 in 1,000. How much time do you have to spend on this? I do this full time. So 2,000, I can break that down to $10 each, and I'll buy 20. I'll buy 20 of them. That's a terrible idea for most people, right? But I could do it. I don't think that's a good idea, but I could because I have more time. So how much time do you have? How many can you monitor? 4? Well, perfect. 500 each. That's it. I don't think anyone should do more than 10. Some of you are going to have 100 and you're not going to listen, and that's fine because you can maybe handle that. I can't. So you've seen me over the last couple of days scale down on some of the things that I've got because I got too many and I know that. So I'm going to continue to scale down. I don't need all these assets. I can do fine with the ones I've got. And if I see one that I like, I better sell all of that to get something else. And I don't want to do that. Told you guys that before. I'm going to try not to sell all of everything. I'm going to try to sell most of it and keep a little bit just in case I'm wrong. Right. And then if I've got a little bit stuck on the side, couple bucks, it's no big deal. I'll leave it alone and let it work. It's crucial that you do this for you, not for me. I have a different plan than you've got, but that doesn't mean your plan is wrong. Okay. Again, $2,000 for most people, you probably shouldn't buy more than 10 of anything. And for $2,000, you probably shouldn't buy more than 5. All right. Split that up. That's $400 a piece. You got 5 assets, 400 each. You're probably going to do 6 to 10X on that. And you're probably going to do pretty well. Right. You're probably going to have $12,000 to $14,000 in the end, at least. And you've not missed. You've caught 5 different assets that did great. Some of them might do better than others. You may find along the lines that you didn't want to stay in this one any longer because it used up all its juice and you want to go find another piece of fruit to squeeze, right? This is how it starts. You start small and you build up. Before anyone says, Keith, you started with a lot of money. Horse shit. No, I didn't. $25 was my first crypto purchase, right? Then I did a little bit more at 150. Then I did 800. Then I took all of my savings, which was $6,000 from my 401k, and put it into crypto. And here we are. That was middle of 2020 when I did that. All right. Right. The pandemic. It was like April or something, right before halving, when I put that $6,000 in. Right. And then that turned into what we've got today. So don't tell me that you don't have the money. You can start with $10. That's more than most people have in crypto. 90% of everybody isn't even in crypto. You have an excellent opportunity to make as much as you can. Forget the dollar amounts. That's another thing people make a mistake with. They look at the dollar amounts and say, how much can I make? I want everyone to look at the percentages. I'm up 12%. I'm up 650%. I'm up 10,000%. You're killing it. The dollar amount will make you have that emotional decision. You guys have seen me say, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Like on the Discord, you see me type that or whatever. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm having that moment in my chest and I want to remind myself that I'm having it. I'm having that feeling of, oh my God, that's a lot of money, Keith. You're panicking. You're panicking. Because I'm poor, dude. Like, I know you guys look at my wallet and see how much I have and you think I'm not poor, but it's different, all right? I come from nothing, and for you to tell me that I've got a lot sitting there, that gives me a heart attack, dude. That shit makes me hella anxious. So when I'm making a trade that's $24,000, that's only half the profits. Half the profits. I'm having a heart palpitation over here. I'm hitting that button with shaky ass fucking fingers, dude. And I did it with shaky fingers, but I did it. And now I'm still sitting on that money over here. And don't think for a second that it ain't burning a hole in my pocket, because I promise you it is. I want to rebuy that shit so bad, dude. Sitting in stable coins right here, right after having everything I've said about not sitting in stable coins, and here I am sitting in them. Don't think I don't think about it. It's a country song like that. Don't think I don't think about it. It's a terrible song. Don't make the mistake of thinking that you have to do it right now. You can probably wait a day or two. Whatever it is, can probably wait a day or two. It's probably not the end of the world waiting a day or two. All right. Don't panic. That's another thing I'm trying to tell myself. Don't panic. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. As long as you keep yourself in a space with smart people who are smarter than you in the room, then you're never going to run out of things to ask, and you'll never run out of good wishes. All right. Taking yourself out to Twitter to think you're some kind of expert and you want to do this, all of a sudden you're going to realize how dumb the crowd is. And you're going to go, damn, I'm not winning anything over here. These people don't know what they're doing. They're just getting lucky. And since they're getting lucky, do I really want to play the luck game? And the answer is no. I don't go to Twitter to look for advice on anything. It's a terrible idea. You're not going to find anything there of worth. You might find some meme coins and you think you're going to do well on them. But again, fast money goes just as fast as it comes. So are you prepared to lose it just as fast as you made it? Or do you have some kind of plan? So here's another thing I wanted to say before we stopped. You're going to be a degenerate at some point, and you're going to go degenerate with what you buy because you're not going to listen to me. You're going to go degenerate on whatever it is. I made a bunch of money on X. I'm going to take that money. I'm going to put it over here into something degenerate. Right now, I want you to come up with a plan of places to put your profits, because you don't tell me you don't have the time. That's a lie. You have the time. You're sitting here listening. You have the time. All right. Find what you want to put profits in now. I've already done that. AVAX, Solana, Link. I've got those three. I can just throw money in whenever I need to. And that's my profit sitting over there just in case. I even did it with a little bit with Ethereum. I put some money over in Ethereum, some profits over there, just throwing profits over there just in case. And now look, those profits are worth more than I started with. Now I kind of don't want to take them out because they're doing well. You need to have this before it happens, because you're going to panic when you get profits and not know where to put it. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no bad thing about buying some Bitcoin or Ethereum when you think you don't know where to put your money, especially if we still have time left in the bull market. And for what it's worth, we're getting pretty darn accurate about when things are going to start and when things are going to stop. We're within a day or three each time now, and that's excellent. Now that we're within a day or three of things happening, we got a pretty good feel in the entire market. And that doesn't mean we're going to be perfect, but we're going to be closer than most almost every single time. All right. We don't need to guess. Tomorrow is March 23rd. That's the day that XRP is supposed to be $6, if I'm not mistaken. It's supposed to be $6. It very much is not, but it's supposed to be $6. So I got to find that dude and call him out on Twitter, because I told him I wanted to bet him $3,000, and he never said anything back. You know, obviously he didn't want to take the bet because he knows he's wrong. It's hopium. It's very important to stay away from that stuff. I was just being entertaining to do it. I knew he wasn't going to take the bet. He's not really wanting to bet a pro trader one-on-one. That's not a thing you want to do. I don't go to New York and go play chess players one-on-one for $20 a game. Those dudes are hustlers. They're going to get you every time. Well, it's the same way with me. Do you really want to go one-on-one, head up with a pro? I don't think you do. Sounds like a bad idea. And for what it's worth, if you guys found some random person on the street and said, hey, you guys want to trade one-on-one versus me and see what happens? You're going to smoke their asses most of the time. You're going to smoke them most of the time because you know more than they do. Use that and remember that before you go venturing out back in here to the social media world. You know more than most of the people you're going to hang out with. So remember that when you walk into that crowd. Don't let them dumb you down. Do not let them dumb you down. We close this Discord to keep the stupidity out. All right? We close this Discord to keep the stupidity out. We have enough stupidity as it is with me. We don't need any more. All right? Who's in here is here. The only way anyone else is getting in is if someone leaves. All right? That's it. I've thought about maybe doing something a little different when it comes to my birthday and just giving some shit away, but I don't know yet. Anyway. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because that's kind of all I wanted to hit on. I didn't want to make this too complicated. This is a long video already. It's 42 minutes long. But this is all the mindset stuff that matters to me. And if it matters to me and it's worked, then I want to spread that information to y'all. The FOMO you get when you want to rebuy, I always get that voice in my head that tells me I'm going to miss out. Yeah, same thing. I get the same thing, right? You're going to miss it. That's FOMO. And it happens to all of us. You got to mitigate it and manage it. We talked about this, when you're not sure, do half. Why not do half? Spencer was asking about this. He's like, where do we buy in Velo? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell anybody what to buy. And then he says, well, I'm not sure, so I might do 50% here. Oh, no, he said 30%, 30%, and 30%. I was like, damn, that's not a bad idea. Because then you're covering your bases, right? But I was like, maybe I don't want to do 30 and 30 and 30. Maybe I just want to do like 50 and 50 because that seems easier. So maybe I do 50% at 0.0175 and then I maintain 50% on the side. And if it goes down to 0.015 where I think it may go, well, that's my go point. Now my average is what, 0.16 something. Now my average is around 0.16, so it's not far from 0.015. Pretty darn close. Right. Then I got a good enough spot. I don't need to worry about it. And if it reverses upward from that first buy that I made, well, I can just put the rest in when it breaks trend. Right. I don't need to overthink this. Yeah, I think that's probably, I think that's a good example of exactly what I was saying was when he said that. And I was like, you know what? Maybe 3 buys isn't such a bad idea. Maybe splitting this up 50-50 is a good idea. I know how much I want to rebuy. 1.174 million tokens. Maybe I do 600 and 600, right? Comes out to 1.2. I end up with slightly more tokens. and I got the money left over that I can go put in something else. I've already decided that the money that I got out from the velo trade, the extra profits, because I'm going to buy the same amount of tokens just at a lower price. So I'm going to have a surplus of USDT here, and I think it's going to be around $3,500. Already decided I'm going to split that up between Solana, AVAX, and Link. All three of them will get 1,000 or whatever, 1,200, whatever it is. All three of them will get that, and then off they go for the rest of the bull market. I don't need to buy any other positions. I've got plenty of positions. So plan your trade, trade your plan. Absolutely. That's a good way of saying it. So listen, thank y'all for coming in here. I'm going to put this on YouTube. I got a separate video series for these latest videos. We'll do another one of these in 2 weeks. You know, first we did some basics earlier. I think we did trend. I don't remember the first other video. I think we did trend, but I wanted to stop that and do psychology before we went any farther. Next video, we'll go over how candlesticks are made, right? And then we'll use that to form some support and resistance. Then we'll use that to throw the 821, the 50 up there, maybe the Ichimoku cloud, maybe the MACD RSI, and we'll do them every 2 weeks, and we'll continue to remake these videos the entire bull market, okay? Because I don't want to hear any excuses about how we forgot how it works. We'll redo these videos ever so often just so you guys keep refreshed on them. I have some old videos out there in the instructional videos section. You can watch the old videos. They have thousands and thousands of views. Some of the best videos that I made on YouTube are on there. Are not really that good videos, but the view-wise, they are. The 821 EMA strategy really took off last time, and a lot of people use that to their advantage. I want to see you guys do the same thing. So thank y'all. Y'all need anything, give me a holler. I'm getting ready to go pick the car up from the mechanic. I had all new brakes put on the wife's car. My truck's fine, and I let him do it because he's been doing the brakes on that car for like 10 years. So, and he's a cool family friend. So anyway, I got to go pick the car up. Got to go run and drop the kids off. And I'll be back here in just a little bit. So I'll see you guys in Discord. Y'all be good. Peace.